Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time we had Smack of Love and Revenge, Part 2. Where basically, Sports Maximum died and became an invisible zombie thanks to his stand, Limp Bizkit. So, that's a thing. Zombies are back. Well, they were back. Jolene and Hermes were dealing with that. They wound up in the prison cemetery where Limp Bizkit was able to bring all of those people back to life to an extent. And then we had Hermes getting her revenge, which was pretty great, and finally and gloriously defeating Sports Maximum. So that was good. And then at the end, Jolene was sent to, it's actually the name of this episode, Ultra Security House Unit. Super solitary, basically. But she has a purpose there. She has a purpose. So yeah, it was a really, really good episode. I honestly felt like a callback to Part 1 in a lot of places. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see where we're going this time. So like always, the reaction is down in the description. In the description and in the pinned comment. Did I say that twice? Is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. I don't know what I said. I don't know. I was just like talking, and I wasn't actually thinking about what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know what I said, so let's just move on and get into this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'm going to try to wake up and get my mind working properly. Here we go. Interesting. Very interesting. Survivor. You know... Alright, we like to talk about stand classifications, you know? So I guess, yes, this is a stand. It's just... I love that even the show acknowledges it's an awful stand, you know? It's so bad, but... Where did Dio... Alright, okay. This begs a lot of questions, but... It's interesting because we sometimes talk about the classifications of stands, you know? And how sometimes I kind of wish JoJo would just say they're a ghost or something, you know? Because that can happen, you know? And that was one thing I liked in Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe, is that it was all ghosts, you know? They weren't stand users, they were just ghosts, you know? Spirits, basically. And I like that, you know? Because I'll watch stuff like, well, hell, Mob Psycho 100, but I'll watch other anime where, you know, there is just a ghost about, and they have to deal with it, you know? And I feel like JoJo could use that, but for the context of this where, you know, Pucci has to take the disc and give it to someone else who's in, you know, the Ultra Security Unit. And for that, yes, it has to be a stand itself. Okay. This does beg the question, A, how did Dio know about this? How did he know about this? How did he get the stand? The only thing I can think is Dio learned about this, somehow realized it was a stand, and then he must have... Because if the person died before they, you know, without... Like, they couldn't even get down the mountain. The guy died of his injuries. Or did... No, I guess the user wasn't in the fight, were they? It was the person at the bar. I guess. So Dio found that person and I guess kept them long enough for Pucci to take the stand as a disc. The way they talk about it too kind of makes me question, was Pale Snake Pucci's own stand? Or did he gain that through a disc, you know? Like, this almost brings up the question of, did Pale Snake belong to Dio? you know? Because they also mention, like, well, you know, a weak stand, it could be one that you've acquired. But I guess that would just be with the discs, you know? So it could be that Pale Snake is not originally his stand. He just took it and used it after Dio's defeat. I don't know. But yeah, but again, an interesting thing, you know? This is an interesting idea, and I'm alright with it, you know? And again, I feel like, okay, and again, maybe this is just bias to this part because I love it so much, but we talk about this because Part 4 had Superfly, what may be one of the worst episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And there are some that are worse. Alessi is certainly a worse episode, but in terms of stands, that is one of the worst. Where it's like, that wasn't a stand at all, you know? That was not a stand at all, and it shouldn't have been called a stand because it had no connection to its user, you know? Whereas this one is interesting because it you know, it also kind of reminds me of when you get Giorno's backstory, and it's like, oh, well, you know, there was the one mafia guy, and he was covered up by a lot of, you know, tall grass, and it was unbeknownst to Giorno that was the beginnings of his golden wind ability, you know? So it kind of reminds me of that, like, okay, maybe, you know, years and years from now, Survivor could be something. I don't know how, but it could be something. But it's just now, it's just in a severely weakened state, you know? Or a very young form. I don't know. But it's interesting, and it's certainly better than... Again, it's better than Superfly, and, you know, again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, it doesn't really need to be a stand other than the fact that it needs to be passed to someone in the Ultra Security unit. Other than that, it doesn't need to be a stand. But for the purposes of the story, I get it. You know? So again, this is just me shitting on Part 4. Basically. That's basically what Part 6 is. Part 6 just, you know, walks up to Part 4 and curb stomps it, basically. So, even though there's stuff in Part 4 I like, you know? So Dio could be alive, technically. They have to find the bone. Why would Dio have gone there, though? If that really is Dio, then how does that work, you know? This does, though, bring up the question, did Sports Maximum revive Dio, or did he revive Jonathan Joestar? Because there is a strong possibility that is the bone of Jonathan Joestar, and with Dio dead, it could just be that, you know, returned to being just Jonathan's bone. I still don't understand where Poochie would have gotten that, you know? But whatever. So yeah. And also Anastasia, who is apparently in love with Jolene and is going to marry her. And FF didn't really think that through. And his stand, which is he kicks the wall, and then there's a time delay, and then the kick goes through the wall. I don't know. We'll have to see more of Diver Drive, which is what I think they called it. I am just going to quickly look up who voices Anastasia, so give me a sec. Wait, he has a different name. Narciso Anasui? Wait, why... Oh. Why is his name different in the dub? That's really weird. That's really odd. For some reason, his name is different in the dub. Okay. He's voiced by Howard Wang. Let's look around. Well, unfortunately, I don't really recognize anything, but... Why is his name different in in the dub. That's all. I mean, I guess it must just be... It must just be that they needed to localize it for some... I don't know. I don't know. Leave that in the comments. What's going on with this guy? I don't know. And I also saw his stand name is supposed to be Diver Down instead of Diver Drive, but it's fine. It was a fine localized name. Anyway, so yeah, FF didn't really think that through, and now he wants to marry Jolene. I mean, look, if he can help, sure. I don't know, but meh. And his backstory was kind of interesting, that he likes to take things apart, and eventually his girlfriend cheated on him, so he took them apart. Nah. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's all I got for this episode. Felt like a short discussion. I don't know why my voice is going nuts, but it felt like a short discussion, but they're still interesting, still good. Again, though, it feels... The whole Survivor thing still feels... I mean, okay, it feels very part one, and not just because, it's Dio explaining this, but it feels very part one in the fact that it feels kind of random and out of left field, Like, this kind of goes with the whole thing of, the two knights of Mary Queen of Scots, It feels like that. It's just kind of weird. It's like... Yes, I found these hikers who all went crazy because of this stand, and then that's basically it. And then the guards went crazy, and Discount Giorno died, unfortunately. But then of course, it's the perfect conditions for Survivor to work, But yeah, it's interesting, and I think part of the reason I'm okay with Survivor is because the show just acknowledges it's a terrible stand. It's absolutely awful. But, when the planets align, when you get the perfect set of circumstances, it can work. It can work out, basically. So, yeah. Alright. With that said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.